Alright, so what I wanted to do today was take a look at a character that has been recently introduced and has kind of been fleshed out enough to be a character people like, and talk about why they hopefully should return. And of course I'm talking about Rose Winters. The interesting thing is, Capcom did say that the DLC about her would be closing off the Winters storyline, which is interesting because they've set up this character in such a unique way and then just left it be. It doesn't really make sense. So the end of Resident Evil Village is actually the end of the DLC, and you basically find out that Chris is still kind of working with Rose and she still has her powers. And it's interesting because they set this character up, you know, to have these powers and stuff, but, you know, now that the Winters story is over, it's kind of wasted. And I don't really know if that means, you know, just Ethan, or Ethan and Mia, and maybe Rose is kind of like a new story, but I'm not too sure why they decided to do that, but I do kind of hope that in some way Rose appears in the next game. There is some kind of controversy around that because there is some backlash from the DLC that it is cool as a DLC, but if we were to play the next game, like a full entry in the series as Rose and she has these powers, it will kind of feel like we're returning back to a time where the series was more action focused and stuff, which I don't think is the case. I think the powers she has in the DLC are minimal. They don't do much. I think all they really did was kind of like stop enemies in their tracks. So I don't think the powers themselves will be an issue, but I think regardless of whichever way you look at it, they will probably cause a bit of a debate if they're present in the game. So I don't think she would necessarily be the playable character, but to have the character again be developed this much and have this kind of big like kind of thing going on that's unique to the character and then just be abandoned is kind of weird. So I honestly think what a good idea would be, you know, have, you know, maybe Chris or Jill or whoever playable in the new game and have the story kind of work around this BSAA corruption, like we kind of assume is going to be the story for the new game anyway. Then maybe have, like, Rose help them, or maybe the BSAA are specifically looking for her because she has these powers and they wanted to kind of, like, use her to make more weapons, because obviously we find out that the BSAA are now corrupt in some way. And have, like, you know, Chris or Jill or whoever is involved in the 9th game kind of be like the guardian for the character. Just have a presence in the game, not like a big deal, but some kind of presence would be good, because I do feel like it is a wasted opportunity to just kind of develop this character into nothing. Or even a different idea could be, you know, I can't believe I'm saying it, but maybe have a multiple campaign kind of game, you know, similar to RE6, where you have Chris and the former BSAA team members, so Chris, Jill, Rebecca and all that, kind of working towards kind of finding out what's going on with the current BSAA and how they're corrupt and stuff. And then maybe have a second campaign following Rose and some new characters possibly, and going after the connections. That is a big kind of side, small story mentioned in 7 and 8 that has a lot of impact around Mia, which is obviously her mother, and Ethan as well. So that could maybe be an arc that she follows as well. And it would be good to kind of, you know, have that kind of arc closed officially. I don't know if that's going to be separate to the BSAA storyline or not. I would kind of assume logically that it would be part of the BSAA story, and there's a reason they're corrupt, and it's probably to do with that group. But if it isn't the case, then maybe they could use Rose to kind of flesh out that side of the story, and have Chris and Jill and whatnot deal with the BSAA. So that's kind of my idea behind what they could do with the character. But yeah, that's pretty much going to do it. I just kind of want to mention it because it's weird that they've, again, developed the character for the DLC, gave her this kind of huge story, and the backstory, and the powers and stuff like that, and kind of linked it all together in some way, and then said, okay, the DLC, by the way, is the end of the storyline, when it's pretty much kind of ending like a cliffhanger for that, if that's the case. So I don't think they should just abandon it completely. But as always, let me know your thoughts on the situation down below. Would you rather see a return to original characters, maybe some other new characters introduced, or would you want to see what happens here and probably get like a proper closing out of the story? Let me know. But yeah, thank you for coming by. Remember to leave your kind of thoughts in the comments down below. If you did like the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe for more Resident Evil content if you are new around here. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.